Bourbon, belts, blockbusters. You are listening to the Triple B Podcast. Let's fucking go.
Welcome back to Triple B Podcast, Bourbon, Belts, and Blockbusters. I'm Tim.
I'm Ryan.
And this is the show where we sip on some bourbon cocktail, talk about wrestling, and all things blockbusters.
Hell yeah, doggy.
Episode 23, man.
Episode 23. We got our cocktail of the week for this episode. We're using last week's Old Forester, the Prohibition style 1920 edition of their bourbon. And we're doing a cranberry bourbon smash, which explains the nice dark red color. We wanted to, it's our first cocktail episode of November. We're rolling into the holidays real quick, and we wanted to do some holiday. Yeah, exactly. Do some holiday themed drinks. So, like we said, we got the cranberry bourbon smash. It's 1.5 ounces of bourbon, 1.5 ounces of fresh orange juice, a tablespoon of jellied cranberry sauce, tablespoon of honey, 1.5 ounces of cranberry. Did I say cranberry juice already?
Nope.
Okay, 1.5 ounces of cranberry juice. And then we muddled that all together, strained it into the glass with our nice big ice cube, and then we topped it with ginger beer.
Hell yeah, man.
And I'm going to be honest with you, that was my call with the ginger beer. The original recipe I read called for ginger ale, and I said, we're not peasants. So we went with ginger beer because that's for the classy motherfuckers. And yeah, we're going to jump on into this bad boy right here.
Oh, shit.
I know what I'm thankful for. Fucking Christ almighty. Yeah, that's fucking fantastic. Not even hesitating. That's a 10 out of 10.
I agree. 10 out of 10.
That's a 10 out of 10. That's going to go down real smooth and real quick, and I foresee us taking a little pause key in this episode to refill these bad boys.
Hell yeah.
That's so good. Like,
you can
seriously.
Literally taste everything.
You can taste
of
every
all
layer of this.
ingredients.
Absolutely. And again, and this is like the second or third time this has happened where we have rated a bourbon on its own on the rocks low. Because you gave this a fucking 4.
Yeah, I gave it
and
a 4.
I gave it a 6.5, I think.
Yeah.
And again, our rating from last week could have been slightly skewed. It was 9:30 in the morning. We're drinking a 115 proof bourbon on the rocks. So could have been skewed slightly. But we both said after that episode that we thought that this could be another good one with a cocktail. Yeah. And lo and behold, this is fucking fantastic.
It really is.
So, that's right up there for me with the mint julep.
Yeah.
That's the perfect iced cocktail for the holidays.
Absolutely. This is...
Wow.
Have it around your Thanksgiving table.
Yes, I may be making this at my mother-in-law's house this year. That is fantastic.
Nice.
All right. We got our socials. We're at TripBpod on Instagram, X, YouTube, and TikTok. You can find us on Spotify, Amazon, and Apple Podcasts. And our Gmail is triplebpod619@gmail.com. Shoot us info, shoot us questions, shoot us comments, whatever. We want to be involved in all of it, and we want your guys' feedback on everything.
Yeah, man. We got a comment on our YouTube video a couple episodes ago.
What?
I just caught it, and they want their camping chairs back. They need them, so we'll return them to them.
All right.
Dude, football.
Fuck me.
Fucking Hawks are 4-5, and yet... kind of like you talked about on last week's episode, it's not the teams beating us.
No.
We are beating ourselves.
Very much so. And again, it's like, in no way, shape, or form are we trying to take credit away from any of the teams that we're playing. But it's just clear. It's very obvious that how many times have we been inside the 5-yard line in the last 2 or 3 weeks now, and we haven't put points on the board? And it's not due to anything the defense is doing. That's the issue. It's just fucking little league types of mistakes. How our center is still our starting center is fucking mind-blowing to me right now.
I don't get that one either.
Yeah. Dude, you can't be in that position, a veteran center in the league, and snapping the ball over your fucking quarterback's head 4 fucking times now in the last 2 weeks. It's happened actually more than 4 times, but 4 of them were on him.
Yeah.
I think 2 of them were on Gino. Mm-hmm. And one of them is clock management from last week. Like the one was like the play clock's running down and he just snapped it when Gino wasn't paying attention. But it's like, you would rather the delay of game than lose 30 fucking yards on a snap. But it's also like, why is that even happening? Again, like, why are we letting the fucking play clock run down to that far and not be ready? Like, you're in the NFL. We got to figure this shit out. So, fuck yeah. It's been very frustrating. But I think last week's episode, we talked about it too. I actually turned the game off from watching it against the Rams last week, and I watched Crown Jewel instead and just followed the game on my phone.
Gotcha.
Until like towards the end when I was like, we could actually make something happen here, and then we did. We scored twice at the end of regulation to tie the game up and go to OT. Mm-hmm. And then obviously what took place in OT took place. But there's just a lot of fucking coaching things, like play calling on offense. There's a lot of things right now where I'm like, Ryan Grubb might be showing his hand as to like he might not be cut out to call plays in the NFL quite yet. Mm-hmm. Like what he was doing in college with the Huskies was great, but it's a whole other fucking playing field and a whole other level at the NFL. And part of me is like, I think it's kind of showing because it's fourth and 6 inches in overtime. And we go for it, which I'm fine with. 100% I'm good with that. Mm-hmm. But then you run like a sweep. It was essentially a sweep. It was an wide off tackle run. Like, just give the fucking ball to
should have just QB sneaked it.
Well, that or at least if you're going to hand it off to your running back, don't have him take the longest fucking route to get there.
Agreed.
Like, go from fucking downhill and let him just try to run somebody over. Like, at that point, like, if we do that and he gets stopped, I'm good with it.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, good.
You're not head scratching.
Yeah, good on them. But now I'm like, the fuck kind of play call was that? Why are we running an off tackle thing?
Yeah.
Like I would have been more happy if they would have done a play action with K9 looking like he's going to run straight down and then just dump it to a tight end that leaked out.
Yeah.
Like something like that. But I don't know. There's a lot of things. Clock management, fucking McDonald throwing his first challenge flag of his NFL career against that catch that Cooper Kupp, clear as fucking day catch on the sideline. Like, I
was so confused at
whoever's upstairs telling you to throw that challenge flag, fire them immediately. Like seriously, like that is a call where it's like, what the fuck did you see?
Yeah.
Because everything, and I know that they don't have the same camera angles that we do as viewers, which honestly at this point is like, why the fuck not? They should have every camera view possible.
Yeah.
But it's still just like, what the fuck? I don't know. There's a lot of stuff that needs to be worked out. And I think it goes back to what I said last week was, as a fan base, we got to come back to earth and just get back to preseason thought processes before we started 3-0 and just be like, we're not that good of a football team right now.
Yeah.
When we put it all together, we're a good football team.
Yeah.
But we're making so many mistakes that it's like hard to argue that we're a good football team. So
the Rams always play us hard, so I won't take any credit from them. But some bright spots: Jackson Smith and Jigba shined.
Balled out, dude.
Was
for having Metcalf out, like he stepped up 100%. Was like, feed me the ball and I will fucking make shit happen.
What a game he had! So that was awesome. Our defense is doing just a tad bit better.
It's the first time we've held an opposing run game under 100 yards since week 3, I think it was. Mm-hmm. Like week 2 or week 3. It was either the Patriots or the Dolphins. It's probably the Dolphins because we held them like 3 points. Yeah. So it was probably the Dolphins. So
yeah. So that was nice to see. And now we get our bye week, which I think we need more than anything right now.
Absolutely. Hopefully get some guys back. We're looking at hopefully getting DK back after the bye. George Fant should. I know he left the game against the Rams, which is why we ended up with Gerald in there. And I mean, he's a rookie. He played really well the week before against Buffalo, but then he ended up going in against the Rams, and he had a lot of head scratching penalties and stuff that were drive killers, because it was like you have like 3 different times, I think, and Jigba caught like a 20 or 30 yard pass on 3rd and long to get into Rams territory, and we fucking give it up, right? And yeah, so, but hopefully have George Fant back. Lucas is still a few weeks away. I don't know what's going on with Trey Brown. I don't know if you've noticed that, but he's been available, but he's been like a healthy scratch for the last 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. So I'm wondering if Josh Jobe kind of took his place, because Josh Jobe balled out.
He balled out.
Called it for the practice squad and fucking played really well all 3 weeks now. I think he's played. So
yeah. Cody White, the receiver.
Cody White, yeah, dude. He
really
fucking,
too.
yeah, he did also.
Came up with some clutch catches there. Yeah. So that was some promising things. Yes. And, again, we just got to be along for the ride. It's going to be a bumpy ride.
Yes, it is. Like, our highs are fucking high, but our lows are like fucking put my fist through my TV low type of thing, because it's just so frustrating. And again, because it is us just shooting ourselves in the fucking foot. Yeah. Twice in back-to-back weeks, 2 different times we had the ball inside the 5 and came up with no points. Yeah. No points. 4 fucking red zone. Not even just red zone trips. It's not even like you're inside the 20. You're inside the fucking 5-yard line. 3 of them, I think, we were at the 2.
Yeah.
And guard steps on Gino's foot on 4th and goal from the 2. We fucking snapped the ball over the head on fucking, that might have been fourth down against the Bills. He throws a fucking pick 6. He throws another fucking interception, which that one was... How the fuck there weren't wasn't a defensive holding call on the tight end, because the Rams' defensive end was bear hugging Barner. Mm-hmm. But whatever. We're on it for too long. We need to just move on. It's the bye week. We get to breathe this week. We don't need to be fucking... Well, I get to breathe this week.
We don't need to be frustrated.
You still have to watch the Titans, but... see how that goes. But yeah, so bye week, the best thing we can hope for right now is that they figure some shit out and we get some guys healthy, and we can start hopefully playing football the way that they have showed us 4 games that they can play football.
Despite everything, we're still in the mix of things. So.
Fuck yeah, dude. I mean, the whole NFC West. The Cards are 5-6. The Niners were on bye last week, so they're still 4-4. Yeah. The Rams are now 4-4. We're 4-5. So it's we're in last place in the division at the moment, but we also everyone has to play a game this weekend, and we're not. Yeah. And also, we're like a half game out. Or it's like a half a game behind the 3 other teams. So
exactly.
Yeah. All right. Well, wellness journey check in number 6, Timmy.
Got some bad news.
Did you go up?
I gained a pound.
I did too.
It's been a rough 2 weeks.
Same.
I am making excuses for it. I should just make the time, and I didn't make the time. I did have some work stuff to work on, but that's on me for pushing it too far out, and just not making the time. So that's on me. And the scale showed the results in that, but you know what? We're still coming down. Yep. And I know I can bounce back from it. Another thing that's been changing is Haley the last few weeks has been having the same days as I had off, which has been nice to just spend time with her because we don't get that a lot. So there's been a little change in the schedule, but it's on me to fit the time in to go to the gym or get something going in. The eating aspect of it, nothing crazy. I'm not like eating unhealthy by any means. It's just I didn't get to the gym and I could feel it. And so not disappointed, but would love to keep seeing that ride down, so I'll bounce back these next 2 weeks.
Yeah, I'm in a very, very similar boat. I had both the eating and the gym side last week were both against me. I hurt my groin on Monday last week. fucking playing in one of my classes, which I just got to stop fucking doing that. But it's hard. It really is hard because I'm like, I'm still a fucking kid at heart.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm an athlete. I can do this stuff. I just overdo it sometimes. And I'm like, that's where I need to find my line is I don't need to be out there fucking putting kids through the spin cycle playing flag football and juking and fucking doing all this stuff. But I hurt my groin spinning. Yeah. And I scored. But it's like, who fucking cares? I'm playing against a bunch of high schoolers. So it doesn't matter. I fucking hurt myself being dumb. So yeah, I messed my groin up. So I didn't do anything the rest of the week because I was like, it was take a short break to be able to continue quickly. Yeah. Then try to do it, like go back Wednesday and then re-hurt it and be out even longer, you know? Mm-hmm. So I just took the week. But last week was also my wife's like the week. So the weekend before I hurt my groin was my daughter's first birthday. Then that Wednesday was my wife's birthday. Yeah. And it was literally, and I think I mentioned this on last week's episode, but it ended up being even more than what I had thought. We ate out like restaurant food, like fucking 9 or 10 out of 11 or 12 days. Oh, wow. Like it was like days in a row. I think it was 12 days in a row. Only 2 of the days within there, we didn't at some point eat at a restaurant or pizza from a restaurant or something like that. So it was just, and it's just like they like both their birthdays. We did pizza for her party. I was there. It was good. it was solid. Then like we went to Mexican one day, then we did this, and we went out for Lindsay's birthday, and then we did this, and then me and Lindsay left to go over to the west side to have a little trip away. Her first time being away from baby for the night and stuff. So like we ate dinner out, we went to lunch, like we went to breakfast the next morning, like all of it. It was just like, holy fuck. And like I had felt that, and I feel like I'm still like, fuck, I'm just dragging from all of that food. So both those two things, I went up, and some of it I'm sure is like water weight and that fluctuation as well, because it's like 1 to 2 pounds of a jump either direction isn't like huge. So like that's part of where I'm like whatever. Mm-hmm. But the scale had me about 2 pounds heavier. I was at 232.4, I think was what I weighed in this morning. I was like, I kind of fucking expected that. Yeah. But so those were the obstacles, which some of them are just life, some of them are me doing dumb shit, and some of them are just excuses. But successes, good things are, I went back to the gym this week. Good. I was at the gym twice, and I played pickleball on Wednesday morning. And I'm just going, especially now that Lindsay's wrapping up her Monday is her last real estate class. Oh yeah, so like our schedules will get back to kind of normal. We'll be going to bed earlier, which has been a big part of things for me, which has been an obstacle too, is like, I'm not going to sleep until after 11, and then I'm waking up at 5 to try to go to the gym, and I'm just like dragging. And again, that's an excuse, but it's just like, fuck man, I'm just tired. So it's like my alarm will go off and I'm like, fuck, I can go tomorrow. And I just snooze it, but then I do the same thing the next day. You know what I mean? It just builds up. And so, but yeah, I think it's just that. And it's also just the understanding that it's like, we've both dropped like 10 pounds or so since we started doing this. We're doing things right. We're human. We're going to have things that do this, especially as we get into the holiday season. It's going to be the hardest part. Yeah.
It's going to ebb and flow. And hey, it's our first wrong direction. Yeah, you know,
exactly. And we did it at the same time. Yeah. So perfect.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? Like, cause I know like I would have felt like shit if you dropped 2 pounds and I went up, and I know you would have probably felt the same vice versa. Yeah. So, you know what? We're still doing it, and it's all good.
We're going to get back on it.
Hell yeah. Rocking and rolling. Well, Timmy,
that brings us to
belts. We are going to start out the belts section this week with the kind of wrap up from Crown Jewel last weekend.
Yeah, we didn't do a bonus episode. Yeah. We had life in the way of that, but we're here to talk about it now before we get into the what do you want to talk about?
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. We did our predictions last week, and we'll just rehash those real quick. I had picked, the Metaphor
oh yeah,
to win that match. You had picked Chelsea
Green and Piper Niven.
Piper
So
Niven.
we're talking about the women's tag
didn't say
match.
that, did I?
No, we're talking
The whole PLE, the entire thing. That's who we had winning. My bad. Yeah, the women's Fatal 4 tag match for the championships. That's what I was attempting to start to explain, but I didn't actually say that. So we had both picked those two teams, and neither of them won. Jade and Bianca retained, to the surprise of both of us.
Yeah, no,
I legit thought that they were not going to retain.
I thought legitimately they were going to lose it, but
yeah,
they still got them.
Yep.
Match was solid.
Yeah, it was good. I thought
there
it
was a few misses here and there, but
yeah,
you got a lot of teams going at each other.
Yeah, you got 8 people working all together. You're just increasing the likelihood of something missing, and so I feel like that's always going to happen. That can be expected.
I still think Metaphor really outshined a lot of the teams in there. You know, like
they're really good.
They are super good, especially Lash Legend is so good. So
yes, excited
for their future. That brings us to U.S. title. We were both right. We both said LA Knight was coming out, and
triple threat match.
That match was incredible.
It was fucking awesome. Carmelo Hayes, Andrade, LA Knight. It was really good outside of, again, like we just kind of talked about, when we add more people into something, you can almost expect a move here or there to not go flawlessly. And first attempt at LA Knight jumping up onto the top rope to hit the German suplex on Andrade.
Oh, yeah.
He slipped.
Yeah.
But he caught it, was able to get up and still finish the move and hit the spot. So,
yeah.
And he actually addressed it afterwards.
Yeah, no, it was,
but,
you know, I am not one to shit on it. Like, if it's like botch after botch, I will shit on it. But like one or two here and there, I'm just like,
and that is such a, like, you have to think that is a pretty fucking crazy move that he does, is just leap from the ring to the top rope and land it.
Yeah.
And how many times he does it without messing up, he is allowed to mess up from time to time. Like, you can't expect that to land every fucking time.
And just his body style, it doesn't.
Yeah, you don't expect that. Yeah,
could do that. So
that would be like watching, like, seriously, it'd be like John Cena or Triple H just jumping up onto the top. Like, that's not, you don't expect that, because he is a fucking built dude like that.
Yeah, exactly. So. That brings us down to Rollins versus Reed.
We both thought that Bronson Reed was going to win this match.
I still think he should have won
it. I do. I agree. 100% I agree. I think he should have won it. He didn't. Seth Rollins won.
Seth Rollins win, but again, Reed did not look weak in this loss. It took Seth Rollins a lot to bring him down.
Absolutely.
And I think just that aspect of it made the result okay. I still think Reed should have won.
I agree.
And have because it seems like, I mean, well, on Raw, it seems like they're going to pursue another match. So
yeah, which that's again, when we said it in the predictions too, that it's like Bronson Reed needs to win this one to then make the next 2 matches Seth winning meaningful.
Yeah.
And so now it's kind of seems a little weird, but that brings us to Orton versus Owens, which we were not technically right, but we also weren't technically wrong, because nobody won or lost. The match never happened. KO attacked Orton before the match got rolling. They brawled. They both hit each other with some shit, but it ended up really with KO elbow dropping Randy Orton through some tables up in the crowd.
Yeah.
So we got no match there.
No. I thought it was a cool brawl, but kind of disappointed it wasn't a match. You know.
Yeah, same. I was bummed that they like waved it off.
Yeah,
like, but whatever.
They should have just came out and go, "This is falls count anywhere." Match.
Yeah, right. Like, that would have been
feed into
dope.
it, right?
Yeah, exactly. That would have been sweet. That gets us to the 6-man tag, Bloodline versus Bloodline. Solo, and you were correct, Jacob and Tama against Roman, Jay, and Jimmy. Mm-hmm. We both thought that the New Bloodline was going to win this match, and lo and behold, the New Bloodline won this match.
Yeah. Part of this match I don't know what's going on. It's just the taping's probably throwing it off for me because of SmackDown not being really Friday night last week, but they were all raising the ones on SmackDown Friday. Seemed like everything's on the same page, but then you get to the match and Jay's not tagging in Roman.
I know,
and he's coming out separately, which I'm good for because the reaction to
Jay's entrance is so
just,
like we said, he's so over right now, and his entrance, like, you're not gonna just have him go back to coming out to Roman's music, right?
Yeah, so
like you can't do that. The crowd probably would have rioted.
Yeah,
they would have gone fucking crazy.
But it felt very confusing just because they were not on the same page.
100% agree, because, and we talked about it last week's episode, was they had that moment in the ring where Jay laid this all out and was like, if but essentially like this, and this, if you're good with this, and this, we're good.
Yeah.
And Roman responded. He said yeet, then they put the ones up, and it was like, all right, seems like they're all on the same page. We're good to go. But then it was Jay who was the one that was like then creating a little bit of the tension, which seemed unnecessary. It was like a plot hole, right? Where it was like we had talked about, we thought there was going to be tension going into the match, but then there wasn't, but then there was during the match. So it was like, if you're going to do that during the match, if you're going to have him do that during the match, then don't have the fucking, the little love fest in the ring the night before, right?
Exactly.
Like, it doesn't make any sense. So yeah, I had the same thought where I was like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Like, this shouldn't be happening, or this only should have happened if Roman would have responded negatively to what Jay said.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Because then it would have been Jay proving a point, like, you don't run me anymore. Like, you don't own me.
Yeah.
I'm my own guy. I can do what I want.
Yeah.
And that would have made sense then. Like, storyline, that would have made
100%.
fucking 100% sense. But
yeah,
it was confusing for sure.
I think the right team won, though. I
Yes.
think it just furthers Solo being this big heel guy.
Yep.
We get Sammy coming out to save the day because the new bloodline was beating down the OGs, and Sammy comes out. We don't know which side he's on, but then
goes in for the hug. I loved that fucking that moment, because I was legitly like, fuck, is he gonna turn? I was like, are we getting the Sammy turn right now? And then he fucking goes for the hug and hits.
And just, bam!
Yeah, I was like, oh, that was a dope moment.
Then we get an inadvertent haluva kick to Roman.
Yeah, Solo ducked the Superman.
Is it inadvertent?
But
we'll find out later on.
Yeah. Or will we? But yeah, so we end up with kind of a interesting final sequence for that match.
Yes, for sure.
With Jay kind of having to separate Sammy and Jimmy, because Jimmy's confronting Sammy for kicking Roman. Roman's down and confused. Sammy leaves and just walks up the ramp like, fuck this. I was trying to help. Yeah. I'm out, type of thing. So
exactly.
That's where we leave with that. We get the women's Crown Jewel Championship between Nia Jax and Liv Morgan.
Yeah.
And
I was right.
So you were right. Liv Morgan won. I was wrong. I said Nia Jax. And I was not a fan of the majority of what took place here. I thought the match itself was fine.
Yeah.
Like, Nia and Liv, that actually was better probably than I thought it was going to be, just because Liv versus Nia is not a very realistic, believable matchup, right?
No.
Like, probably one of the least believable matchups, but it was still good.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the match in and of itself for what it was, but it was all the rest of the extracurriculars and everything that was taking place. Yeah.
I 100% agree. I was into the match until everything started going down with Tiffy's cash-in attempt was not really done well, I don't think, even.
No.
And then Raquel and Dom getting involved is just like, we've seen this a million times. But that is it. I mean,
Yeah.
Liv Morgan's our first crown jewel women's champion, so
Which I'm cool with that.
props to her.
Yeah. Like, I'm good with that. It was just...
Yeah.
It's honestly the Tiffany Stratton angle that I'm the most frustrated about with this, and we'll talk a little bit more about that later, too.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, Tim was right, I was wrong, and that brings us to the final.
Yep. We got Cody Rhodes versus Gunther, and we both thought Gunther was going to win this one, thought he needed it a little more, but that wasn't the case. Cody wins it, and
They put it on the face of the franchise right now.
Yep.
So,
the match was solid.
Really good match.
I loved everything about. I thought this was what we were going to get with Randy versus Gunther last time.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be a little quicker, kind of like this, and it wasn't that way. But solid match.
Yeah.
I like that it was Gunther's sleeper hold that cost him in the end.
Yeah,
It
same,
was
yeah.
a good twist. I liked it.
Funny thing about that, I missed, like, I think I was feeding Laney or something when I was finishing that match, and I missed the actual pin.
Oh, gotcha.
And so I was like, oh, fuck. I was like, cool, Cody won. But I was like, how the fuck did he do it? Because I saw Gunther lock in the sleeper hold. So I was like, what happened?
Yeah.
And then it was like, every time they showed the replay, I think 3 times, and I missed it all fucking 3 times. And I was just like, I fucking missed it again. Lindsay's like, just watch the fucking TV. And I was like, and then it ended, and I was like, they didn't fucking show it again. God damn it. So, like, I had to actually, like, go online to find it just to exactly see. Because, like, I was able to sum it up. I was able to come to the conclusion of what happened, but I wanted to actually see it.
Yeah.
But I was just like, motherfucker. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, so that was just funny for me. But, no, the match itself was fucking awesome.
Does Cody Rhodes need a new finisher? He doesn't seem to throw people away with the crossroads. Like, he has to do multiple of them to throw him away now.
I know, because it was like, that was what he did to end Roman.
Yeah.
Which made sense.
Yeah.
Sure.
Roman's big boss guy.
But then he has also had to hit Solo with 2 or 3 in a row a couple times now.
Yeah.
That's less believable. Mm-hmm. Gunther, I guess, is more believable. You have to hit multiple, but it's like at some point, like, you never saw Triple H hitting a pedigree, keeping the arms locked, standing back up, hitting another pedigree, standing up, and doing a third one to make sure it was, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I agree. I
love the move, but it's not.
Yeah, I like the
people
move,
are
too.
kicking out of it left and right.
But isn't that just kind of the world we're in right now with finishers?
Yeah,
like,
I
feel like everything is.
before.
Yeah, we have. I feel like we're in the world of no sell right now.
Yeah.
Or maybe not no sell to like the actual extent of what that fully means, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like the no sell in the realm of
the false finishes.
Yeah,
I guess
yeah. You hit the finisher, which should hopefully be the finisher, but now everyone's kicking out a finisher, so it's just like, okay, what's the point of them?
Yeah.
But yeah. Well,
all right.
This brings us over to the final outcomes of this. Timmy won this PLE with a very sad outcome for both of us. Tim went 3 for 7 on outcomes, which kind of is really 3 for 6 if we don't really want to count the Owens KO match.
Who could have predicted
because it didn't
that?
happen. So, and then I was 2 for 7 or 2 for 6, however you want to look at it. So, yeah, 3 bells system, 3 bells rating.
3 bells. I'm going down the middle, 1.5. I thought there was some good things. The matches were overall very, very solid. Some head scratching things in some of the matches, and again, it's just this when they go to Saudi, it doesn't feel like it's feeding into any other storyline. Really, it's kind of just like its own show. So I'll give it right down the middle, 1.5.
I'm going to go with a 1. There was only 2 out of the 7 matches.
That you got right?
Well, that I got right.
No, I'm just kidding.
But it was only 2 of the 7 actually I felt like were PLE worthy. Almost. And it was the U.S. title and the Gunther Cody match.
Yeah.
Like even the Bloodline versus the Bloodline just didn't feel like it had the hype that it should. It didn't feel like in the match necessarily, like, I don't know, it just felt like another regular weekly show episode, like a match. The women's crown jewel championship was, again, it was a fine, like the match itself was fine, but it was just kind of, there was a lot of other stuff that was just kind of like eye rolling.
Yeah. Agreed.
The women's tag title match was solid, but I don't think there was necessarily anything to write home about.
Yeah.
Where you would hope that there would be some spots in a fatal 4-way tag match for the titles that you would be like, fuck. There really wasn't.
Yeah.
And then, which one am I missing? Oh, Rollins. The Rollins Reed match was fine. Like, the match itself was, I guess, it was a good match. But again, I feel like the setup for the future for things, I feel like it was just weird.
Yeah. No,
like typically if I go 2 for 7 in predictions on a PLE, you'd typically be like, dude, it was a fucking good show. Like, I didn't expect things, but this one didn't have that feel for me.
No,
it felt more like, okay, I went 2 for 7, but it was kind of bullshit. You know, like you went 3 for 7, but it was kind of like, why we shouldn't have.
Yeah.
You know, like, I don't know. It felt kind of like a Vince McMahon pay-per-view.
Yeah, I can see that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it was like the curveballs that were thrown at us were like head scratching curveballs. Like, why the fuck is this happening? Or why is this happening again?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
so.
exactly.
But yeah, all right. We're moving on. Ryan,
what do you want to talk about?
Yeah, I'm gonna kind of just lead straight from one of the things we were talking about, and that is what is the angle? What is it that we're pushing for now with Nia Jax? Because it doesn't feel like they're like on Raw. They immediately, 2 nights after Crown Jewel, they established a number 1 contender for Liv Morgan's title. We get to SmackDown and we have the women's WWE title champion teaming with the Money in the Bank holder against the tag champions. Like, I just feel like it's confusing. And then you add in the entire repeated failed attempts at cashing in with Tiffany Stratton. And there's like this growing tension between the two of them, and Tiffany Stratton kind of put Nia Jax on notice going into Crown Jewel, but then they're just teaming up like willy-nilly, like there's no tension between them. We got very little of that energy at all in that tag match outside of the slight build that I think they might be trying to do with Candice LeRae, where Tiffany Stratton's yelling like, we don't need you out here. But then Nia comes to Candice LeRae's rescue.
Yeah.
So like there might be a little bit of that, but still I'm just like, I don't get it. I don't understand what's going on. Like, Nia as the WWE Women's Champion, she feels like she's just kind of floating right now. And it's like, that's your fucking like face. Like, you should probably, that's one half of the face of your of SmackDown. You should probably have like a direction for her.
Agreed.
Outside of just continuing to try to do this slow burn, which a week and a half ago we were for the slow burn, but now it's like, okay, now you've done the exact same thing with the slow burn too many times now.
Yeah.
So now it's like, you got to fucking do something. That would have been the perfect opportunity to cash in. And I don't know. I was disappointed in just that whole angle. So
yeah, it definitely, I agree with you. I felt it was very just head scratching. Like, why is there not drama? Because last week she's saying you're not safe, I might be cashing. She comes out and interrupts the match and could be cashing in on you, and you're just Tifferson on like just on SmackDown, like nothing happened, and teaming up like you said. Maybe the Candice LeRae, they're just gonna come in between, but who are we to say, you know? So yeah, just, definitely head scratching. I want to talk about the White Six abducting the Miz. That whole literally interrupted what was happening on Raw, switching right over, which I thought was cool. And
wasn't that like an interaction backstage with Kofi and
with Xavier
Woods,
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
And then it just like the whole broadcast cut to that,
which I thought was cool. It felt kind of like when the White Six first came on. It felt dangerous. They're abducting someone, and Miz was kind of cheesy with his acting in that scene, but overall, I like that they have a direction. They're going after the Miz.
Yeah.
They don't want Final Testament. They said that they're going
Yeah.
for Miz, and so I thought it was a cool just little part on the show.
Yeah. Same. Yeah. I thought it was a nice kind of needed. And again, we've talked about the Wyatt Six a lot, and just the idea of whatever they're going to do next. I hope that they like nail it, because it could quickly go south.
Yeah.
With this type of character building attempting. But I think this was like perfect.
Yeah.
'Cause, like, this gives Miz an angle also to continue to feed into his recent heel turn, and then the Wyatt Six gives them a target, and it just I was like, all right, I'm good with this. Cool.
Yeah.
And it's not the same, oh, lights go down, fog comes up, Nikki Cross shows up, and then the rest of them come out. You know, this was new and different, but in the same vein of all their video packages and stuff. So, yeah.
Agreed.
I thought it was good.
Thought it was awesome.
Bro, Io Sky
Oh yeah,
is the number 1 contender for Liv Morgan's title.
this match is gonna bang, dude.
It's gonna be fucking awesome.
It's gonna be
really
so
is gonna
good.
be fucking awesome. I loved the fact, and I kind of already alluded to it. I loved the fact that it was like no wasted time. This was like a SmackDown move, like recently, because like SmackDown's, I feel like it's kind of obvious that in recent months SmackDown has been the like workhorse show each week. They've had stronger shows. And I felt like this was something that like Nick Aldis would do, is like set up immediately, like, we're getting a fucking number 1 contender for your title. And, but man, that was Adam Pearce coming out and laying down the fucking law. Let's go. And that was a fucking awesome match too.
It really was. Yeah.
The battle royal. Like, I was like, okay. Typically I'm like, women's battle royals tend to turn me off a little bit, because most of the time the over the top rope doesn't work very well for them.
No, yeah.
Right? Like, they're just not big enough to easily go over the top rope like the dudes are. So it's like not as believable always. They did a really fucking good job of most of the eliminations and stuff in this match. I thought were actually really well done and planned out and thought out. So I was content with it.
Yeah. I think they did an awesome job of not making it obvious who was going to win that match. I like the
thought
little.
it was going to be Lyra.
Yeah.
Like,
they added enough drama in there. I was like, oh shit, could Bianca or Jade win? And then they got pulled out. But no, I thought it was well done. Io Sky, I put her as one of my favorites from one of the eras that we did in that press belts question of the week. So really excited for Io versus Liv. I think it's going to be a great match. So
yeah, and she was world champion, but wasn't it the other? Wasn't it the WWE?
Yeah.
So she's never held the women's world title. So
agree. Yeah,
that's cool. It's a little cool change of pace there.
Yeah, absolutely.
What do you got?
I got Damian Priest winning the number 1 contendership. I'm not disappointed with it, like, because before Crown Jewel, he was confronting Gunther going, after this, I'm coming for the title, which I thought, hey, he gets a rematch, he lost the title.
Yeah.
I know that rematch clause is very loosely used now, but I thought he already had it, so making him win a number 1 contendership, I thought was maybe a waste, but Dom really shined in this match, I thought.
He did, for sure.
He's kind of coming around, like, I think even the crowd is kind of getting into him right now, too, and not just booing him for the fun of it, but also, like, just appreciating what he's doing in the ring. And
absolutely.
He kind of really carried that match, I thought. He was a big part of
they came back. They come back from that one commercial break, right? And he's all of a sudden taken over, and then he fucking withheld the entire time until he got knocked out of the ring, and then Bronson Reed came out.
Yeah.
And then that whole angle of him playing it, like kind of playing coy and possum, he's like hiding from Bronson Reed until Bronson Reed destroys everybody else, and then he goes for the fucking win. I thought that was perfect.
Yeah.
So I was like, are they going to have Dom win this fucking match? I legit was like, what the fuck is going on right now? Because I was like, but that also kind of would have made sense with how much shit everybody talked about Dom throughout that episode leading up to that match.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, there's 3 really good competitors in this match, and then Dom. And like there was like 3 or 4 different people said something along that same line. So I was actually like,
yeah.
Dude, they might actually have been setting up this whole time for Dom to win this match. What the fuck? But then obviously it didn't happen. But
God, the South, Dom takes a great South of Heaven.
Oh my God. Yeah, he does.
Just every single time.
Yeah, well, and that's, I think I've said this before on here, but JD or Finn taking it looks so devastating because they're short. And so that looks like they go so high. Dom looks like he goes even higher, and he is much taller than both of them.
Yes.
So like, it's pretty wild to watch him take that, but he does it. He takes it so fucking good. I'm actually like, I'm kind of here for the Priest winning this match. Sheamus didn't really make any sense to me.
Yeah. I thought he did really well in the match.
I thought he did really well, but I'm just like storyline wise, like, yeah, he's actually been on a pretty good win streak recently too. Like it or hate it, whatever. Mm-hmm. But I was just kind of like, Sheamus versus Gunther. I'm sure it would be a good match.
They had the triple threat match, Drew, Sheamus, and Gunther, and that tore the house down.
Yeah, that's true. But I don't know. There was just something to me where I was like, obviously I don't want to see Dom versus Gunther. I didn't really care to see Sheamus versus Gunther. I was like, Seth Rollins, Gunther, that would be a fucking good match. Yeah. Damian Priest, we already know Damian Priest and Gunther can put on a good match. But this time there shouldn't be, I would hope at least, there shouldn't be any Judgment Day involvement.
Yes. Yeah.
So, which would be kind of like the nice thing, where I'm like, I'm good with this, because this will be like, give us the opportunity to have them just have a straight up fucking match, which they're going to do it's going to be a fucking awesome match.
Yeah.
And there won't be, even though we loved the outcome of that match because of just everything that was going on at that time, it was the breakdown of the Judgment Day, and like everything happened on that show that we were like, fuck yeah, it's happening.
Yeah.
But now it's also going to be like, okay, cool. It's going to be sweet to watch them do this match where it should hopefully just have a clean finish.
Absolutely.
So,
agreed.
Yeah. I also had Priest number 1 contender. So I will jump to my next one. The announcement of a women's U.S. title.
I got that.
I was like, let's fucking go. Like out loud this morning. I was like, what the fuck? That's dope. And Lindsay was like, what? And I was like, they just announced a new like mid-card women's title. Like they've never had that. So I was really excited for that. I thought that was cool because that gives, that's I feel like that's just kind of an ode to where the women's division is and has come from and is going. But yeah,
no, I'm with you, man. When that was announced, I was just like, fuck yes. I got chills, man, because I just talked about it last week. My banger of the week was NXT. The women's division is just rocking down there. They got a lot of women down there that I think could come up any day now. And,
and there's like Jordan Grace. I will be shocked if she doesn't sign a full-time WWE contract in 2025, because I'm pretty sure her TNA contract's up at the end of this year.
Yeah, I think so.
So is her husband's.
So I want to throw this out. Who do you think will be the first women's U.S. champ? And do you think there's a women's intercontinental title coming?
Yes, to the second part. I feel like you have to at that point, right? Like the women's division on both brands are strong. It's a full roster, and that, like you said, they're gonna end up just moving, especially with the introduction of this title. Yeah, which hopefully we'll get the Intercontinental, get the Raw equivalent. That just opens up more roster spots, realistically, on the main roster, because now it's not 20 women with one set of tag team championships and a main title on both shows. So it's not just 3 titles. Yeah. Now you're looking at potentially 5. So that opens up more.
And it gives just like the men, like we've talked about a million times, the IC title is a stepping stone to the next thing. Yeah. And women didn't really have that. And so I think this is just super exciting.
Yeah, I think it's perfect. To answer the first part of your question, I'm having a hard time remembering, because of all of the chaos that's happened and transpired over the last few weeks, who's actually on which brand.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to think through specifically the women's roster on SmackDown to think of who it would be, because like everyone I'm thinking of is all Raw. I think like Lyra's Raw. Obviously, Damage Control's on Raw. Like,
yeah.
I mean, Bayley is SmackDown. Candice LeRae,
Chelsea Green. Piper
Green.
Niven.
Oh yeah, they're SmackDown too. That's right. I would honestly kind of be cool. I would kind of actually be excited if they somehow made it end up like doing like a little tournament for it, and have the finals end up being Bayley versus Candice LeRae because of the history that they have together all the way back to the indie scene.
Yeah.
And like Bayley kind of surpassing Candice career-wise, and Candice feeling like Bayley is below her type of thing. Like it could kind of be a cool thing to then potentially put one of them over.
Yeah.
So
my thought, or who I want to be, is Meechin. Meechin would be a good, awesome,
yeah, that would be good.
women's U.S. champion. So.
Yeah, they should do a fucking women's hardcore championship.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
But yeah, no, yeah, I could see Meechin too. See, and that's, again, I forgot, like, I was totally having a hard time remembering who the fuck's on which roster, because they've done so much blending over the last, which, to a point, as I'm like, stop doing the draft.
Yeah.
Just have 2 fucking shows.
Yeah.
Just have 2 fucking shows.
They come out anyway, so.
Yeah, like they're all interacting with each other, so whatever. But
my next thing I want to talk about is the pile driver.
Yeah.
KO giving Randy Orton a pile driver. The last time I saw a pile driver in WWE was CM Punk giving one to John Cena on Monday Night Raw, which
in fucking
that was
2013 or something, probably.
That was the year he left. So the pile driver, it was the year he left WWE. So it's almost 15 years ago.
Yeah.
So I just thought it was crazy because AEW see a lot of pile drivers and a lot of no selling. Like it's a devastating move, and the way they sold it on the show, I thought was well done.
Yeah.
I don't like that they're taking. It seems like they're taking Randy out for a lengthy time by calling it a cervical injury, which I'm not here for because we didn't get a match at Crown Jewel, which we were like, okay, well, Survivor Series is right around the corner. That's got to be it. And now this. So
I'm wondering if there is potentially something actually wrong with Randy. Mm-hmm. And so they were trying to protect him in certain ways, maybe. Like, hey, if you can take a few bumps and then we'll put you on the shelf again to get better type of thing. Like kind of like what they did with Seth with Bronson Reed, right? Because he wasn't fully healthy, but they put him back in this CM Punk, Drew McIntyre situation, and then get him just fucking squashed by Bronson Reed to go back on the shelf for a little bit to fully heal to come back good. Maybe it's something like that. I don't know, but
I guess it opens up Cody because it seems like because he went with Randy on the ambulance, it would just make sense if Cody goes after KO now.
Yeah,
for the next feud. So
for sure.
Keep them away from the bloodline. So
yeah,
that was my thoughts on that.
Yeah,
I liked the magnitude of the moment though. Like they made it seem like a big deal, and seeing that move in WWE is a big deal. So this is more what I was looking for last
with the chair
week
shot.
With the chair. Like if that happened last week,
that was the exact first thing that came to my mind. I was like, "There's the moment Tim wanted. Like that's the moment right there. Should have been before before Crown Jewel." But, yeah. So. No, I thought it was. I liked it. I liked the idea of using a forbidden move or whatever as this whole heel turn character situation that's going on. I would have liked it more if it was the true pile driver.
Yeah. Yeah, I
agree. I mean?
Yeah,
like obviously, I don't want to see that because that move is actually super dangerous. Mm-hmm. Though the way they hit a pile driver now like isn't nearly as dangerous because you're able to. It's just the way the body's positioned. You're able to catch it and brace for it. Yeah. The other way, the other person, like the one that broke Stone Cold's neck, you can't brace for that.
Yeah.
But you can brace the other way, facing the other direction. You know what I mean? And it's like the fall back, like that KO does, right? So, I get it is a kind of forbidden move. He hits it. So I like that angle of it. I do still wish I kind of have that same feeling you had with the chair shot, though, where I was like, it didn't look as devastating as I wished it would have for the way they played it off, if that makes sense. But, but yeah, I only got one thing to talk about left.
Bloodline.
Like always.
Like always.
What a fucking moment on SmackDown, man. I'm going to real quick breeze over Raw. Jimmy, Jay in the ring. Sammy comes out. They kind of confront each other. Jay gets Sammy to agree to just come to SmackDown to talk to Roman, right? That's pretty much what happened on Raw. We get to SmackDown. That happens. They come out. That started the show. They're all out there talking, and you get Roman being Roman and ego over everything. Yeah. And pretty much is kind of fuck you, Sammy type of idea. Sammy walks away. You get a little confrontation backstage. Then Jay and Jimmy both leave Roman. So then that leads to you get Roman coming down later on with the Bloodline.
Yep.
Right. The new Bloodline. It was like the acknowledgement ceremony or
acknowledgement ceremony.
Yeah, whatever.
These acknowledgement ceremonies are happening way too frequently.
I know. What's going on?
Going nowhere.
Yes. But yet we are completely invested. But yeah, so you get Roman out by himself facing off against the new Bloodline, Solo, the Tongans, and Jacob Fatu. I mean, really, one thing leads to another, and the Solo's saying, if you can find 4 people, and that was a specific number, he said 4 other people in the back that will team with you, and we'll go to war. And Roman says, war? You mean WarGames? He goes, I only see 4 of you. And I was like, oh,
I know.
Fucking happening?
I know.
Is it fucking happening? I was like, oh my God, who's it going to be? Who's it going to be? And then they threw a complete curveball because I wasn't expecting this after everything that happened. Solo says, our 5th member, Sami Zayn.
I know.
And I was like, what the fuck? What do you mean Sami Zayn? He just attacked you guys 5 days ago. What do you mean? And yeah, Sammy comes walking out. Well, then they attack Roman in the ring. Then you get Jay and Jimmy coming out.
Sammy hanging back.
With Sammy still back there. And I loved this moment because you get Solo getting ready to Simone Spike Roman, and he looks at Sammy and tells Sammy to get his ass in the ring. You come do this. Kick Roman in the face again. Meanwhile, while he was beating down Roman, he was on the microphone telling Roman, you thought Sammy kicking you was a mistake. That was all part of the plan, like all of this. So they're like actually building this. I was like, fuck, Sammy's actually joining the new Bloodline. Holy shit. This is back-to-back times now where they had me fully believing that Sammy was turning.
Yep.
And he goes for the haluva kick, and he fucking kicks Solo square in the face.
Yes, he did.
And yeah, that was fucking awesome. And then the whole thing turns. Mm-hmm. He sets up for Roman to hit the spear on Solo, hits it, and we got a fucking really dope fucking moment to close out SmackDown with all 4 original Bloodline members in the ring. They're all talking. Sammy and Roman are kind of staring at each other, and you just see Jay step up. And Jay
was the first
Jay's
one.
the first one, which is I liked even more. Jay's the first one to just be like, fuck it. He puts the one up, and then Jimmy kind of follows suit. And then Sammy's looking at them, and he's staring at Roman. And dead just stare down. Mm-hmm. He raises the one. And then you get Roman fucking raising the one. And dude, I legit got chills. Yeah. Like it was, I was like, like I was like, oh my God, this, I don't know why, but I'm so fucking invested in this.
Yep.
And I think that is a testament to, again, what we've talked about so many times, just the Bloodline story.
Yeah.
Dude, we're now talking rehashing Sammy Uso, the honorary Uso, that whole storyline, which was almost 2 years ago.
Yeah, it was 2 WrestleManias ago.
Yeah,
you know?
and so it's like, holy shit, man! Now, like, we got that now all coming back. Like, they're pulling from fucking original Bloodline storyline days, and it's still so relevant, and it still means so much to the crowd and everything, and you can feel that. And I think that's why it was such like a physically like emotional moment for me when I'm watching it. I literally was like, I don't get goosebumps or like chills when I'm watching wrestling very often, especially anymore, because I don't feel like there's those types of moments that often. Like one of the last ones I can remember was honestly probably when Jeff won his first WWE championship.
Yeah,
like,
I get the goosebumps a lot, so sorry, I can't agree with you on that.
I don't know, for me it's like really special moments, and I felt like SmackDown was a very special moment last night, because it was legit something where it was like, what we had at that point, we're never going to see that again. And now it like, they had been doing this build and planting these seeds, but then it was like, it actually happened. It was like, oh my God.
Yeah. No, we
got it, man. They're back.
I agree. I guess the only thing I did not like about the segment was how nonchalant they were about talking about WarGames. Like, WarGames is a big match, and he was just like, and we could go to war, and then he's like, you mean WarGames? And it didn't feel big enough about saying it, but now we got 4 versus 4, so who are the 5th member of each side? And
that's like one thing that I keep thinking about too, is I'm like, are they going to do just 4-on-4 for it?
Maybe.
Yeah. I don't want it. I don't want them to, but I'm like, now it kind of makes sense for it to stay 4-on-4.
It doesn't make sense to bring anyone more. I mean, it would make more sense for the new Bloodline, because he's just introducing newer faces to the thing, but bringing someone to the OGs, that's
I know, and that's where now I'm like,
that's going to be hard to do.
That will be hard, because it's like, these are the 4 dudes, right?
I mean,
so
yeah, I just don't see, unless it's The Rock on the OG Bloodline, but
that still doesn't make sense.
It doesn't, but that would be the only thing that really would make sense to me to happen. So yeah, it has us wondering what's happening next. So is it 4 versus 4? And I'm okay with that.
What a fucking dope for us to spend the next what is it, 3 weeks?
Yeah.
Until we go to WarGames to actually watch this fucking shit take place live, to each week just be glued and tuned into SmackDown to just see what the fuck else is gonna build. Anyways, this brings us to
banger of the week,
Timmy.
I got Dragon Lee versus Chad Gable.
that was what I put down too. Swear to God, I'll even show you. Banger of the week. Dragon Lee versus Gable. Yeah, it was a fucking amazing match.
It was a clinic.
It really was. It was so good.
Chad Gable is so good.
They both are.
Yeah.
Like, Dragon Lee's fucking amazing, but Gable is so goddamn good. And
he deserve to lose this match, though. I'm okay with Dragon Lee winning, but Gable needs to get some wins.
I agree with you. I do. I do agree with you on that. I don't think it was necessary. And I think it would have been the perfect opportunity for him to win that match by doing something to Ray again.
Yeah.
And then build that to have Ray versus Gable.
Yeah, exactly.
Be like the end game. And so like, I think that potentially was a missed opportunity. But this could also lead to him just being frustrated and interfering and attacking one of them again, which could also lead to that same thing. So, depending on how they play it from here, if we just see nothing else with it again, then it's like, yeah, that's missed.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a big miss.
But the match was just, it was
amazing.
I was just like, oh, ooh. And yeah, it was incredible.
It was back and forth. It was fucking high octane. Like, it was so good.
It is everything you want in a match. So.
Yes, absolutely. Like, that was. It's called Banger of the Week, but that has potential to be the match of the fucking month, and we're only on the 9th day of November.
That's true.
You know what I mean? So like, that was such a good fucking match. So, yeah, man. Belts question of the week. I posed both belts questions this week. First one. taking it back to the old days of WWE, not even just 2K games, really. I think it was SmackDown vs. Raw at some point had Create a Finisher on there.
I think so, yeah.
And they have since, I guess, not taken it off, but it's not the same.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you used to actually, like, full-blown be able to create a finisher. Like, each movement you were, like, putting different pieces together, which was a cool... It took a while, but it was a cool function of the game.
Yeah.
Not quite the same now, but nonetheless, create a finisher. If you were a WWE superstar, Tim, what would you want your finisher to be? I already know at one that you're going to say, I'm assuming.
Well, maybe. I don't know. I only created one, and it's a new one because...
Oh, okay. So it's not the Intimidator.
You already know about the Intimidator.
Okay. That's what I was going to say.
Intimidator.
Intimidator. Oh, I get it. I always got it. I've taken it a couple times.
No, I went fresh on this one. I'm going to call the move Seeing Red. RT Red. Seeing Red is the move call.
Okay.
And what it is
like
a reverse curd angle slam. Like going back into a cutter.
Oh, fuck. Oh. Show me, Timmy. I said on the thing, use toys to show it.
I got Kurt Angle here.
That's perfect. I love it. I want to see it. I want to see it live in action.
So,
use the wrestlers. That's what we got them for.
You would, essentially go like this, go up for the angle slam, into a cutter.
I like it. I like that a lot. I really do.
Yeah. I call it Seeing Red, and that's my new finisher.
All right.
Because I haven't seen that one. We've seen
the Intimidator.
Now,
I know.
It is no longer fresh. So
I am going to. This is actually kind of weird. I have two.
Okay.
One you may have already known. I don't know. The Jest degree.
No. Yeah.
So Jester, obviously, right? I don't know if we've ever really addressed any of that on the show.
No, we have not.
We used to do backyard wrestling, guys, and me, Tim, our brother, our brother Nathan, among other people, and me and Nathan were always Jester and Kilroy, and then RT Red, and we had face paint and everything, and we had our own moves and stuff, so I had the Jest degree, which was a sit out pedigree.
Okay.
But lifting so the legs come up over and then sitting into it.
Okay.
Right. So
kind of like fairy tale ending Ciampa's move.
So, and I didn't realize that was Ciampa's move until literally I was watching SmackDown.
And you're like,
and I was like, what? He doesn't do it as cool as I would like to do it. Because he just lifts to here and does the sit out.
That's true.
I would bring it all the way up
and
then sit it out.
Okay.
So because I saw Ciampa's, I had another idea. So this is still the first one, and I could still kind of call it the Jest degree if I wanted to, but it would be to bring it up and then turn it into like a double arm DDT.
Ooh, I like that.
Right? So that would work well. But the other one, and I have two different names for it, but the one name is a little too on the nose. So the other one, I thought the name that I originally had for it was a little too on the nose. I originally called it the RTS. Those are my initials.
I like it.
Right? But the reason I thought it was a little too on the nose is because it essentially does turn into an RKO. It's a cutter also. Okay. But the way you get to it, and so that's why I was like, that might be a little too on the nose because it's literally the RKO is Randy's initials.
Oh, true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's R, like we both have an R name, so I was like, that might be a little too close. But, so I did a little researching. And so what this one would be a vertical suplex. Mm. And I've actually hit this move before on my buddy Jackson.
Okay.
When we were in high school. But yeah, get them up for the vertical suplex and then turn them as they're dropping back and turn that into a cutter.
Oh, nice.
Right? So, because I was thinking today, I was like, the RTS is a little too on the nose. I'm calling it the Scepter.
Okay, I like it.
And because, again, following the Jester, the like insignia of 4 Jesters from back in like ancient Rome times and all that was always the jester hat, right, with the bells and everything, and then the scepter, and that was like their little. It's almost like a shillelagh almost, right?
Yeah.
But it's like a little stick with like a little thing on the end of it, and so I was like, that works. That's a cool name. I like that. So I went with that, and it pays homage to the history of court jesters.
I like it.
So, the scepter.
That was a cool question. I like that one.
But I like that we both ended up with
cutter.
moves that turned into a cutter. That's fucking dope. And then because Nathan's is a Kilroy cutter.
Yep.
All three of us. Jester, RT Red, Kilroy. We're back at it again with the cutters.
We got our trios finisher.
That's fucking perfect. I love it. All right, awesome. The second belts question of the week this week was just because I saw a picture on Facebook and I was like, I gotta fucking throw this on there because it's awesome. I have a picture on the next slide for us to look at, but it essentially is old school Survivor Series match. And now this is like 7-on-7, so it's a little, it's just like the guys in the match. It's a supersized Survivor Series match. But I just want us to look at the picture. We'll talk about who's in it. We'll talk about who's on which side and who do you think would win the match. And then I just want to bullshit about like what a fucking toasted match this would be. So this is the picture. On one side, it's WWE versus WCW. Let's just start with that.
Yeah.
Okay. And on the WCW side, you have Hollywood Hogan. You got Big Papa Pump, Scott Steiner. You got Nature Boy Ric Flair. You got the Icon Sting. You got Booker T, Diamond Dallas Page, and Goldberg.
The faces of the place.
Yep, exactly. They're literally the faces of WCW. Then on the WWE side, you have Y2J Chris Jericho, Kurt Angle, Mick Foley, Mankind, Stone Cold Steve Austin. You have the Brothers of Destruction, Kane and The Undertaker.
Of course.
And you have the most electrifying man in sports entertainment, all of entertainment now, The Rock. So, who do you think would win this match, Jimmy?
Well, we got to go Team WWE. They're going to win.
Yes, absolutely. I think that's obvious.
Yeah.
Just the star power. I mean, the star power on both sides is fucking off the charts.
Yeah.
Let's be real and be honest there. But if you go like part for part, there's not a lot of candles being held to the WWE side there. Like if you really break them down like level for level, person for person, it's not even close.
Yeah. I'm trying to like think about who I would want as the final two, like,
oh fuck,
because this match would literally be 1 versus 1 at the end in a Survivor Series match. It's elimination, right?
Yeah.
And the different ones you can have are just incredible. But first one that kind of comes to mind is just Stone Cold Goldberg. That was like everyone's youth dream match.
I know.
So just seeing them face to face at the end of that match would be awesome. Taker Sting has always been a dream match.
Yeah.
But
Absolutely.
it only feels fitting that Stone Cold's the like sole survivor. I don't know. I don't know about you.
I don't know, man. That because it's like I don't see the top three there: Kurt Angle, Y2J, or Mankind being the final.
No.
The final one. Probably not Kane either.
No.
You could definitely see Taker, Stone Cold, or The Rock being the final for sure. And then I feel like it's really Goldberg, Hogan, or Sting would be the final.
Yeah, exactly.
For WCW. Yeah, fuck the final. I didn't even think about that when I posed this originally. Like it wasn't even on my mind. So
typically in a Survivor Series, there kind of like is multiple feuds just paired up. So who would you pair up? Like for example, I'm gonna say Stone Cold, Hollywood Hogan, they're a feud, and then we'll go Taker Sting.
Yep, Taker Sting.
I would
go Rock Goldberg.
Yep, I would go Ric Flair and Mankind. They got history together.
Yep, Taker and DDP.
Ooh, okay, yeah.
No, sorry, not Taker. Kane and DDP is what I was saying. Is what I meant to say. So I already have Taker and Sting.
Kurt Angle, but no, I would go
I would go Kurt Angle, Papa Pump, Y2J, Booker.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree with that. It would be a sick
fucking
match.
crazy. That would be a sick match. It would be so cool. I think fucking, God, if it wasn't Stone Cold, like the final two.
Yeah.
If it wasn't Stone Cold Goldberg or Taker Sting, I would honestly go The Rock and DDP.
Really?
I think
DDP,
would be the
huh?
next one. I always
guess
had a
at the
soft spot
time-
for Diamond
at the
Dallas Page. I don't know why, but I always really liked DDP.
I guess if this is WCW like Dream Team, so if I got to take out his WWE stint, which wasn't great. So
yeah.
So
but
okay,
that was
but
that was because of Vince.
Yeah.
Like Vince squashed almost every WCW character that came over outside of the guys that were already originally with him and Booker T.
Yeah.
Like really, it was like Booker T was like really the only true WCW guy that came over
and broke through and was
broke
successful.
Because he was never in the WWE before, right?
No.
He started in WCW. So yeah, he was really the only one that actually had like a true legit good run.
Yeah.
And like to this day is still a part of the company. You know what I mean? So
exactly.
Yeah,
no. Yeah. That's a really cool scenario, and
yes, it is.
It would have been awesome. To
I see stuff
something
like I
that.
see stuff like this all the time too, so I'll keep pulling them and bringing them in. There's one specific page I follow on Facebook, and I don't use Facebook very often, but every now and then I'll get on and scroll, and when I do, I see like 7 or 8 straight posts from this same page where I pulled this. So they have good questions and stuff like that. So
I like it.
Hell yeah, man. Well, that brings us to Blockbusters. We got a jam-packed Blockbuster segment today, dude.
Hell yeah, we do.
I'll put this on here. This movie is called The End. I had never seen anything about it, never heard anything about it until I was just like scrolling through the other day, and I was like, "What's this?" I was like, "It's got fucking Tilda Swinton and Michael Shannon, right?
Yeah.
Michael Shannon in it," and I was like, "That's interesting." And I kind of read the synopsis, and I was like, "Oh." And I watched the trailer, and I was like, "Holy shit, this is a really cool idea." I thought
so too.
So, synopsis. It's a long one, but 25 years after environmental collapse left the earth uninhabitable, mother, father, and son are confined to their palatial bunker, where they struggle to maintain hope and a sense of normalcy by clinging to the rituals of daily life until the arrival of a stranger. Girl upends their happy routine. Son, a naive 20-something who had never seen the outside world, is fascinated by the newcomer, and suddenly the delicate bonds of blind optimism that have held this wealthy clan together begin to fray. As tensions rise, their seemingly idyllic existence starts to crumble, with long repressed feelings of remorse and resentment threatening to destroy the family's delicate balance. But their reckoning with difficult truths also points to a different way forward, one based on acceptance, love, and capacity for change. The thing that I thought was the coolest about this is an apocalyptic movie, but it's a musical. Mm-hmm. It's an apocalyptic musical. And I was like, to me, that's an original idea.
Yeah.
I haven't seen anything really like that before. And especially not in this vein of when you watch the trailer.
Yeah.
The very kind of darkness and edginess that you kind of get within it, but then there's the musical numbers, which it's very like, woo, that's like a roller coaster. It felt like through the trailer. So I was like, holy cow, like there's a lot going on, and just had me intrigued.
I agree. I thought, we were just talking about how we like the post-apocalyptic movies, and here we are again talking about another one, but with the twist of it being a musical. And I got the same feeling. It was just like it has like this dark tone, but then the musical numbers kind of bring that up.
Yeah.
So definitely, I'm a fan of musicals, and this one it definitely has me intrigued for it.
So I don't, off the top of my head, remember when it's coming out, but it's directed by Joshua Oppenheimer, who also did The Act of Killing and The Look of Silence. So yeah, that's my bad. That's on me. I don't know. I don't remember when it's coming out. So my apologies, but look for it. The trailer again looks really cool. And I think, it's got, again, Tilda Swinton, Michael Shannon are both starring in it, and George McKay. They play mother, father, and son respectively. Mm-hmm. So.
Yeah.
Heck yeah, man. I also threw this one on here.
I think it's fitting, right?
Yeah, it is. We're getting into that holiday season like we talked about. This one's called Dear Santa. And once again, I thought that the idea of this was really clever. Synopsis. The Holly Jolly film follows young Liam Turner, who still believes in Santa. To prove all of his disbelieving friends that Santa is real, he writes a letter to the big guy inviting him to show himself. The only problem? Liam isn't a very strong speller and addresses the letter to Satan instead. Satan, who never gets letters from kids, is flattered and goes to meet Liam. Hijinks, chaos, and hilarity ensue. I had a lot of typos in that. I don't know how I just read that so well. Jesus Christ. The best part about this entire thing, in my opinion, is the fact that Jack Black is playing Satan.
Yeah.
So, like, that's fucking wonderfully perfect because he is perfect to play Satan in a Christmas movie.
Yeah, exactly.
But it stars Jack Black, Keegan-Michael Key, and Post Malone's in it.
Damn.
There's no trailer yet for it, but I will, which I'm kind of surprised there's not a trailer yet for it.
How
because
quickly?
It's releasing on Paramount Plus at the end of this month on the 25th of November. So I haven't seen a trailer yet though. But the movie is said to be a like feel-good, family-friendly movie because obviously when you have Satan involved in things like that can turn people off. But it is my thought behind this is almost kind of like it might be a like the Grinch type movie, right? Where it's like you have the antagonist that the kid then tries to turn good type of thing. I don't know if that's actually what'll happen, but it sounds like they purposely put that out to and like marketed this as this is a family friendly movie. It's not a horror movie, nothing like that. Like it's a comedy, type thing. So I thought the idea of that was really clever though.
Yeah, no, I think you're right on the nose with that. I excited to see Jack Black in just more things. He's always fun to watch and I think Jack you're Black. 100% right. Him playing Satan is just a perfect match.
And he could easily play Santa.
Yeah, 100%.
Right. So like that's why I'm thinking of it. He has the holly jolly belly. He's got the beard. Like he could easily play Santa, but he's playing Satan in a Christmas movie. So it's like I feel like it's like a very good combination.
Maybe it's because you're right, because he kind of got that look. Yeah. Maybe the kid is thinking all along, this is Santa, but he's really Satan.
Oh, maybe.
And it's just kind of like they're just not on the same page throughout the movie. That would be fun
too. Yeah. So I don't know. I'm excited for it. I will definitely be watching this. It sounds and looks good to me.
Exactly.
Good cast and everything. So we got some Marvel rumors, Timmy.
Yeah, just Marvel rumors. I guess news. One of the first things that caught my eye was Moon Knight might not be getting a second season, which when I first saw the article line, I was like, no, it was such a good show, and I was excited for what was to come. But they're saying it might actually get a full length movie now, which I'm here for. What about you?
Yes and no. I like the idea of continuing Moon Knight for sure. Because Moon Knight was one of my favorite parts of Phase 4. I loved that show. I thought it was so well done, and I thought the whole story and concept of it and everything, the way they did it with all of like the psychological thriller horror sequences that they had within it and the elements to that, I thought it was just very well done. And Oscar Isaac in that role is amazing.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know if I like the idea of it being a movie because you can't do as much in a movie.
True.
Right. Like storytelling wise and stuff, you don't, there's just not enough time. So doing it over, a 6 to 10 episode season, you can get a lot more storytelling and a lot more character development. And with the fact that he has like 3 or 4 different characters that he portrays with the split personality stuff. Yeah. I don't know how well you could portray that in a film. Yeah. As like definitely not as well, I don't think, or as detailed. So
agreed.
I don't know. I again happy for the continuance of Moon Knight and that character because I loved it.
Yeah.
Not so sure how I feel about it being potentially a movie instead of a series, though.
Yeah.
Him being in a movie, totally here for.
Yeah.
But I would still want season 2 of Moon Knight
Yeah.
being season 2 of Moon Knight.
All right. I can
movie,
agree with that.
know?
Other stuff that was coming out this week, Ryan Reynolds is saying the Marvel team is obsessed with Channing Tatum's Gambit character,
Yes.
and obviously could be a positive sign for him to get his film that
He deserves.
he deserves, right?
100%. Channing Tatum was great in Deadpool and Wolverine as Gambit. It was a beautiful surprise and a beautiful shock to finally get to see that come to fruition. And it would only be right to, even if it is a fucking one-off, give it to him, man. Let him do it. We want it as fans.
Yeah,
So.
absolutely. And then lastly, apparently Nick Cage turned down making an appearance in Deadpool and Wolverine. No reason was given, but there could be possibility that he is playing the Spider-Man Noir character, and maybe that was part of the, because I think that's Sony's side of things and whatnot. So, but could be making an appearance in Secret Wars, which here for, but it would have been awesome to see Ghost Rider in Deadpool and Wolverine.
100%.
Just I think that was really the only missing movie in the Fox movie cameos in the Deadpool Wolverine.
That and Ben Affleck's Daredevil.
But you had Elektra from.
You did have Elektra.
Like you had pieces.
Yeah, that's true. You did
from
have pieces.
all the
You're
the
right.
Foxes.
Yeah. Well, it really was the only missing film franchise, I guess, out of that Fox. Yeah, I'm curious because I read a similar thing, but I didn't. But what I read, I didn't read that he actually turned it down. I just read that both him and Ben Affleck's Daredevil were in like early drafts of scripts. And what I read was that Ryan Reynolds just said that it ended up just being a no-go. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if that was Nick Cage turning it down or if it was just like they couldn't figure out exactly how to make it all work, or budget-wise it was just too big, or they couldn't get them for money reasons or whatever it was.
Yeah.
But regardless, the fact that it was like we were that fucking close, it sounds like, to potentially getting that is exciting. Kind of bounce off of this, I also read that Jennifer Hale in Agatha All Along, Jen, the potions witch, in the comics, and I didn't realize this, but she is the cousin of not Nick Cage's. I don't think it was Nick Cage's Ghost Rider character, but because there's like 3 iterations of Ghost Rider in the comics. But she's the cousin of one of them.
Gotcha.
So I was reading that there like could potentially be a connection there for when, like, because she has ties to like the Midnight Suns and stuff, which is, Ghost Rider, Daredevil, Punisher, Blade, like all of them.
Yeah.
I think Moon Knight too has connections to it, but yeah. So I just thought, you brought up Ghost Rider on this, so I was like, oh, I'm gonna throw that in there too, because I did read that the comic book ties to being a familiar relation to one of the iterations of Ghost Rider could potentially be them maybe setting up a soon MCU Ghost Rider. So
I like it,
because we haven't seen an MCU Ghost Rider yet.
Yep, that's true.
Technically,
we saw
the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and the Nick Cage. They're the only two, but Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is very flimsy on whether it's canonical or not.
Yeah,
so.
Exactly.
Nobody knows if the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is actually canon or not canon, so it's interesting. But
absolutely.
Yeah. This one's a quick one, but I just thought it was worth throwing on there. We got an update on Spaceballs 2. For those of you that don't know, Spaceballs was written and directed and starred by Mel Brooks back in the fucking like late 80s or early 90s. And it was essentially a Star Wars spoof. So Spaceballs. It was fucking hilarious. It starred John Candy, Mel Brooks, and why am I forgetting his name? Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Fuck me. That's going to piss me off. But, it was a really good movie. Funny. If you haven't seen it, definitely go watch it. It's definitely worth it. But Josh Gad actually wrote the script with Mel Brooks for Spaceballs 2. And Josh Gad will also star in the project. It is going to be directed by Josh Greenbaum, and it is an Amazon project. There's no, it's still, that's it. It's just, the script's been written, so it's in, still, early pre-production. So there's no other information about it quite yet, but just the fact that it's happening, because it's been a project that has been, kind of in limbo for a long time. Mel Brooks, I'm pretty sure Mel Brooks originally had, tried to make a second one shortly after the first one came out. It just never happened. So
it's crazy.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's 30 years later or whatever it is, they're potentially looking at putting out a second one. So that's pretty cool. And such a cult classic of a spoof comedy. So it's,
I was gonna say it definitely has a big following.
Yes,
for it
absolutely.
not to get that sequel. So it's exciting to hear.
Yes,
yeah,
absolutely. Blumhouse Productions.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be a show without talking about horror movies,
Yeah,
right?
right.
So,
Yeah, exactly.
So, 2 updates I saw come out this last week is we got dates for Megan 2.0 and The Black Phone 2. Megan 2.0 is coming out in July of next year, July 27th, and then we got The Black Phone 2 coming out in October 17th of 2025. All right. Going to Megan 2.0. Not a lot of details, but we got some returning stars from the first one. Some have theorized that Megan will return with enhanced abilities to spread her consciousness to other devices or forms of technology, in essence, creating a kind of a hive mind that will put more people at risk. So
that's creepy.
It's super creepy.
The hive mind thing, that type of shit, always, I'm like, oh.
I mean, it's just, that's technology, right?
Yeah.
It
is.
Keep doing more things. So excited about that. I thought the first one was, I thought it was going to be too much like Chucky, Child's Play, but ended up being its own kind of thing and with some similarities. But I thought it was a fun horror movie and excited for a sequel on that. Black Phone 2, Ethan Hawke will return as the Grabber. Derrickson will be back as the film's director. They'll be joined by a host of returning stars, including Mason Thames as Finney, the young boy who was abducted in part 1. Madeline McGraw will return as Gwen, Finney's younger sister who receives psychic visions of the Grabber's exploits. Not a lot of details about this other than the director got this idea from the person that wrote the story of Black Phone and was really excited about it. First one was a coming-of-age middle school movie, and the next one is coming-of-age high school movie. So not a lot of other plot points known about it, but excited to see that one as well, because I thought Black Phone was totally just a cool original idea for a horror movie, and Ethan Hawke plays in horror movies quite well. So
yes, he does. I've actually not seen either of these two movies.
Oh, really?
I haven't seen Megan or The Black Phone, so I'm gonna have to watch both of those now.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah, I've just they were ones that I never saw. I don't know.
Gotcha.
Nothing against them. I just never watched them, so I'll have to watch them.
Give them.
All right, cool.
All right.
Then I'll watch them and I'll get excited for the second ones that are coming out next year. Timmy, this week we got our special segment, and it is Toasted or Trash.
Yes, indeed.
All right. Again, Toasted or Trash is where we give each other a movie to watch throughout the week. New, old, doesn't matter. We just give each other a movie, whether we've already seen it or not. Also doesn't matter. We just assign a movie to each other, and we watch it, and then we kind of do a brief review, and then we try to decide if the person that assigned it to us also thought it was Toasted or Trash after we give our rating. So, Tim, I gave you Pain and Gain. Stars Mark Wahlberg and The Rock.
And Anthony Mackie.
Yeah, and Anthony Mackie. True,
yeah.
True. And yeah, I don't remember exactly when it came out.
I believe
It's like
2013 is when I was reading
that,
about
that
it.
makes sense to me. Yeah. What did you think?
Well, I the movie overall, it was a cool idea. It's based on a true story, and was actually based on a true story. Was reading about it, so obviously got my intrigue when I see that, and obviously it's very embellished in this movie. It's a Michael Bay movie, so a lot of explosions, etc., a lot of violence and everything. Thought the movie was pretty good. It had a lot of comedy in it. Honestly, thought The Rock. This was probably one of his better roles. I thought of just acting. He crushed the role he was in this. So yeah, I thought it was toasted. Not a strong toasted, but I was definitely toasted. I think Ryan thought this was toasted.
I did not.
No?
No, I did not. I did not like this movie.
Okay.
And maybe I'll admit, maybe I got to give it a rewatch now, 11 years later. But I watched it when it first came out, because that was one where like I saw the trailer for it and I was like, fucking Mark Wahlberg and The Rock, Anthony Mackie, even, like I was like, hell yeah, let's go. And I did not care for it when I first watched it, and I have not watched it since. So
Gotcha.
maybe I'll have to jump back into it and give it a go now that I'm 11 years more mature and wiser. But yeah, no, I remember there were times throughout it where I like paused it or whatever and like went and did something else to then come back to it, because I was just like, I'm having such a hard time with this and the story of it, and I didn't think the acting in it was all that great. But again, that was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So maybe I got to give it another shot.
I mean,
I didn't expect you to say you thought it was toasted.
It's
so.
by no means great.
Yeah.
It's not great, but I enjoyed it, and I mean, there's a lot going on in it for sure.
Yeah. I feel like I felt like I remember like having a hard time keeping up with the story, or like there were like confusing points and stuff like that throughout it. So
I never saw a trailer on this movie. I heard about it.
Had you not watched it before?
This is a first time watch, so
good.
Yeah, so and it was on my list of things to watch. I just never got around to it. But again, didn't see a trailer on it, so I just went into this totally blind. I remember reading on it about it being kind of like along the lines of Bad Boys, with Michael Bay and everything. So,
Yeah.
but definitely wasn't Bad Boys, and
No.
but yeah, no, I didn't hate this movie, and I was into the movie from front to back, and there's a lot of chaos, and that's usually not my favorite thing, but I was okay with it in this movie. So
Yeah.
all right, my movie for you is a brand new movie that just came out this year.
Yeah.
I chose Blink Twice, starring Channing Tatum.
Originally titled Pussy Island.
Is that what it was called? I did not know that.
That was the original name for it, directed by Zoe Kravitz.
Yeah.
It was the original name for it, and then when they like brought it to test, because I hadn't seen it before we did this, but I had followed it a little bit.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was like when they brought it to like test screenings, the name like completely turned off almost the entire female like
Yeah, I don't think I would watch.
fan base or whatever you call it, the test groups.
Yeah.
It like completely turned them off of it, even though like you get it.
Yeah.
Like after watching
yeah.
it, right? Like you get it, but it so like they changed the name. So
Yeah.
anyways.
But yeah, this was a first time watch for me as well.
Yeah.
Just because of how new it was. But what'd you think about it?
I liked it. I did like it. I thought there were points. It felt very M. Night Shyamalan-esque. Like there were definitely elements where I could feel that maybe Zoe Kravitz is an M. Night Shyamalan fan and like pulled some of those elements into it. Because it had a somewhat similar vibe as like what's it called? Midsommar.
Oh.
Florence Pugh.
Oh yeah.
Is that how you say that? Is that how you say it?
Midsummer.
But yeah, and it had like some similar elements throughout. I'll just leave it at that. But there were parts of it where I was like, what the fuck? But then there were also parts of it where I was like, whoa, what the fuck? So there were definitely, some twists and turns. I don't want to say too much, obviously, because it's such a new movie and I don't want to give shit away. But there's some stuff I'll talk to you about off camera here. But I had a hard time with this one. It's not trash. I would not classify this one as trash for myself. But I'm having a hard time like tipping the scale to toasted and not just kind of more on the toasted side of down the middle. I'm going to say toasted. And for a specific reason. But again, I don't want to spoil anything. So it's hard for me to explain that. But I am going to say toasted. I'm going to say you thought it was toasted also.
I did think it was toasted.
Okay.
It gave me more vibes of Get Out, Jordan Peele's.
Yeah.
Jordan
that too,
Peele's kind
for
of,
sure.
Just kind of a big message behind the plot of the movie. So that's immediately what I thought of was Get Out, and
I definitely felt that as well.
Yeah.
Yes. With certain elements and aspects to it too. Yeah.
But I was kind of like you, where I was just like, the first part of the movie, I was like, what am I watching? And then you kind of like, once you get through the movie, it all just kind of, then you're like, okay, it makes sense. So yeah. I thought it was, I definitely not a full on toasted, but definitely more towards toasted, not trash. So
definitely not trash. I think it was a good movie.
Yeah.
And like I said, I liked it. I think I can see why it flopped, because it did. It flopped at the box office. And I think I can understand that, but I also would highly recommend people watch it. And because I feel like this is one that like flopped box office in theaters when it first came out, but could very quickly get like a following behind it. And I would definitely recommend that. So definitely watch it. But
yeah, agreed.
Good.
Agreed. This is two movies where we have like a Hollywood heartthrob in a creepy role, right?
Yeah.
Josh Hartnett in Trap
and
then Channing Tatum in this one.
Yeah, true. Back-to-back weeks.
Yeah.
We covered one like that. Truth. All right. This brings us, sadly, we're back with the Triple B Memoriam Toast. It's not funny, but it was just like the way it happened was I was literally getting on to add this to the agenda and add this to the slides, and you had already put it on there, and I was like, oh shit, perfect. Because it was definitely one that we got to talk about, especially with the kind of continuance of a running theme that we have carried through the show of horror movies, right? Yeah. We lost Tony Todd on Wednesday at the age of 69. He is an absolute horror icon, with notable roles in. He was Candyman, he was in Platoon before that, but he like Candyman was like his break in really the world of acting and into horror. He was in Star Trek also, but he was also in the Final Destination franchise. Among a bunch of other things. He
was in small episode of Smallville.
Yeah,
and
he was in Psych. He also voiced Venom in the Spider-Man 2 video game.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, so like you have on here, he appeared in 240 plus movies and TV shows. If you don't know who he is, look him up. Tony Todd, you'll see his face and be like, oh, fuck, that dude.
Yeah.
Because
his voice is iconic.
His voice is iconic. His face is iconic. Like, he's very, very well known.
Yeah.
And was just a huge person in the cinematic world.
Yes,
So
he was.
that is a unfortunate loss, but what a hell of a career.
Hell yeah.
That was straight cranberry sauce. I'm running low. All right, Timmy, here we go.
We got a return of the Triple B game show.
Hell
and,
yeah, I'm excited for this. I don't even know what it is.
We're gonna switch it up. We're calling this Last Man Standing. I couldn't find a name for it.
Okay.
But another like YouTube show or podcast does a bunch of different movie games, and this was one of them. So the premise
Also, an ode to wrestling.
Yeah,
Last man standing.
yeah.
Match. So I like it.
Exactly. So the premise of this movie is, or game is, to name an actor and start going back and forth with their movies until one of us can't think of one or repeats one.
God.
So basically we're going down the line of their IMDb without repeating it. So
Okay, so hold on. Where did you get this actor from? Because I feel like I'm at a disadvantage.
no, well, see, I thought about this. I thought about this
Did
ahead
you
of
have
time.
Haley write it down?
No,
Oh, okay.
which I should have actually. Now thinking about it, but I just want you to select a movie off this shelf.
Of this shelf?
Yeah,
Just select
just
one?
select one, and we have to go. Don't even look at it.
You don't look at it either. Look at me. Look at me. Look me in the eyes.
Looking you
right
in-
now. Oh,
look
I'm gonna
in the
come.
eye.
I'm gonna come. Oh, wait. Sorry. That's not the game, is it? All right. Oh, fuck. With the dilemma.
All right, let's go with Vince Vaughn.
Vince Vaughn. Okay. Well, the dilemma.
All right, that's his first one. Wedding Crashers,
Dodgeball.
Swingers,
Starsky and Hutch.
Anchorman,
Anchorman 2. I had that one up my sleeve.
True Detective,
Fred Claus.
Bad Monkey,
Fuck. That's what I was going to say. God damn it. I didn't realize we were doing TV shows too. So when you said True Detective, I was like, wait. What is it? Old School. There we go. I'll just go there first.
The Internship,
Oh, that's a good one. Because the internship's the one at Google.
Mm-hmm.
God damn it. It's with Dave Franco and the old guy, and they like start their own firm. Oh, it's like Unfinished Business.
Yep, Psycho,
Fuck, good pull. Good pull. I feel like we haven't even named a third of his fucking credits. Oh, fucking Zoolander.
oh, The Breakup,
God damn it.
shit.
Yeah. Stop looking at your shelves, Tim. You son of a bitch.
I don't think I have anything up there, but holy hell.
Did I already say Fred Claus? Mm-hmm. Okay, that's what I thought.
I should have let you just say it again, so then I would lose.
Yeah, I would lose, yeah. There's fucking one on like the tip of my tongue, but I'm having a really fucking hard time. The Watch?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay. I was like, I'm pretty sure he's in that.
Freaky.
That's the fucking. Is that the
Like
hor-
where
the
the
horror
horror
movie? Yeah.
where they swap bodies.
God damn it, that was a good one.
I got one more. I think if you can.
Fuck.
So I already, unless you name it, I think I still got one more.
God damn it. There is one that I can picture the fucking like cover of the movie. Mm-hmm. But and it's one of the first ones that popped into my head too when we were doing this, and I cannot think of the fucking name of the goddamn movie.
I got two more now.
Fuck me. All right. You win. I give up.
Delivery Man, Four Christmases.
Oh, Four Christmases. Damn, that's a good poll too. The one I was thinking of is I wouldn't be shocked if you fucking have it, honestly. But it's got John Travolta in it. And he's younger. It's like a thriller, serious movie.
Oh, yeah.
What is the name of that?
Domestic Disturbance.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good one.
That is a good fucking movie. God, I could not think of the fucking name of it. But yeah, that's a guy. I like that one. That's a good. I like that. That's good.
Well, now I know that we need to get our lady or someone to write down a name.
I liked that though too.
But that was fun.
I mean, that works at your house because you just have them.
Yeah. Yeah, right there's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun.
That was good. I like that. That was solid. All right, awesome. Timmy, you won that one. Blockbuster question of the week, Tim.
I posed this question. Name a movie where you saw a trailer, really wanted to see this movie, but never got around to actually seeing it. And I guess just follow up, do you still want to see it? And will you go watch it? So.
All right. Yeah. I have two for this.
Okay.
The first one is Masterminds.
Okay, yeah.
Yep. Jason Sudeikis, Owen Wilson, Zach Galifianakis, Kristen Wiig. Saw trailers for it when it was coming out. Was like, I mean, fuck yeah, to that foursome right there. I mean, that's
especially during that time.
During that time, yeah, especially. Never saw the movie though.
Yeah, that's one I haven't seen either.
Yeah.
I thought the same thing.
Yeah.
But that's not my answer, but
all right.
That's a good one. I like that.
Yeah. Do you just have one?
I got two,
all
so
right,
I guess we could go back and forth. The movie is Snake Eyes with Nicolas Cage and came out in 1998.
Okay.
And it was like, it's kind of like just like a whodunit kind of thing, or like a conspiracy movie where there's a terrorist attack at a boxing match and takes out a attorney general or something, and trying to put together the pieces of who did this. And it looked awesome. It was at the time where Nicolas Cage was coming out with all these action thriller movies. Yeah. And I saw the trailer and still have not gone around to watching it.
I haven't seen that either. So, yeah, I don't know that I even know of that movie. So.
Yeah. Check out the trailer. I bet you would be interested in it.
All right. The other one, last one I have is Focus with Will Smith and Margot Robbie.
That's another one where I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
I think I do have it though.
Oh, you own it, but you haven't watched it?
I think I bought it. I think it's behind here. I want to say I do have it, but it was one I've been meaning to get around to watching. So.
Oh yeah, it would be right behind there. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
And my other one, believe it or not, is another Nicolas Cage movie. Came out a year later after Snake Eyes. It's called 8mm. And it's...
Yeah, never seen that one either.
He plays a private detective and watches a film on 8mm and sees something he's not supposed to see or something along those lines. And looks like the movie goes in a crazy turn. So, again,
interesting.
Just movies I wanted to see and haven't gotten around to. And I believe I saw Snake Eyes on a streaming service. So I probably will give that a check out because...
All right. Well, once you do, let me know which one it's on. And
yeah.
I will put that on my list as well.
Nice. All right, man.
All right, dog. Cheers.
All pulp.
Yeah, all pulp. That's all cranberry sauce at the end of there. All right.